on the road back from Frisco. This is the Epilogue. Hello. So there was that guy just a minute ago that was standing in the middle of those railroad tracks. What he said is what's happening here. This is the road to San Francisco, the Epilogue. Essentially, it's on the way back from San Francisco to Seattle, Washington. And this is a showcase of the records I picked up on that road trip to San Francisco. Now, I went to Amoeba. I picked one thing at Amoeba, which I'll show you first. Only one in a box set. I went to, let's see, where else did I go? I went to Originals Vinyl, Hayes Valley. Actually, more in the Western edition, on the corner of Hayes and Fillmore. I went to Groove Merchant on Lower Haight. I went to Tunnel Records out on Terraville near 46, across from the Riptide Bar music venue out by the Great Highway and the Pacific Ocean. I went to Stranded, which is on Valencia Street in the Mission. They also have a Rock Ridge, Oakland store, and they have a New York store. I think that may be it. So let's just show you the records I got. The Story of Zamrock. Now, this is a Vinyl Me Please, which usually you order by mail directly, but they had a copy. I've been wanting this. The first pressing of this box set some years ago sold out. And earlier this year, they did a second pressing of 1,000 copies. I've been wanting this. Zamrock is that sort of African sound that's very influenced by, Stones and the typical boomers rock and roll stuff. This stuff is mostly recorded in the 1970s. So cool stuff. It features a bunch of records. Zamrock, look it up. I'm not going to go through the whole box set, but amazing music. So Zamrock from Amoeba Records. Now this next record I think I bought this one at Groove Merchant because of the cover, but I've been wanting a Stockhausen record. I don't have any Stockhausen. And I first heard the name Stockhausen because of Paul McCartney, actually, who was more the avant-garde Beatle, more than John Lennon. Everyone thinks John Lennon, because of his relationship with Yoko Ono, was the avant-garde Beatle. But Paul went to a Stockhausen show in '66, I believe. And this is one I got because of this cover. I assume that's Stockhausen and not the orchestra conductor. This, what a fucked up picture that is. That's like the serial killer from Silence of the Lambs or something. But Deutsche Grammophon records always interesting, and I just wanted to get a Stockhausen. I don't know this performance. $15, Groove Merchant. There you go. Yes, I dropped on the floor. No wisecracks. Now, this is a record I've been wanting to get for a while. I used to have this back in the day. This is the first solo album by Peter Green from Fleetwood Mac, 1970. The End of the Game. This came out soon after he left Fleetwood Mac, after Then Play On, which is my favorite album by Peter Green. The day before I got this at Groove Merchant, I saw a American copy that was a little speed up, but I almost got it, and luckily I didn't, because the next day I found this just amazing, beautiful UK edition. Pristine, UK, country of source, as they say. Peter Green, cougars and lions and leopards and things. So, there you go. Now, if they fall flat, they're fine. Now, my friend Shep Brooks was with me at some of these stores, and he made me buy some records. Certain people I trust that make me buy some records. This is Game Theory. And this record was from 1985. Mitch Easter is a part of it, who recorded a lot of these. I think he produced the first REM, Athens, Georgia outfit. At least he was. I don't know much about these, and I'm sure I've heard this stuff. This was recorded by Mitch Easter in California in 1984. Someone else is going to know a lot more, but Brooks is like a big fan, and I trust Brooks, and I don't know why I miss this stuff, but love that. I thought that was for a while looked like David Sylvian. Doesn't it look like a David Sylvian? You know, those of you know. Records are, you don't have to baby them. Now, I'm all in on John Renborn, and I've never had this record. Another Monday, original, this is an original copy of Transatlantic Records, so it's a UK pressing in beautiful shape. Obviously, he and John Renborn were members of Pentangle. Brooks and I had talked about Pentangle in one of our videos earlier this week, but this is a lovely record. I played this somewhere, not here because I'm not home yet, and it's beautiful. Crime. I saw Crime so many times back in the day. Punk rock band. A couple of little stories here. First of all, this is a record that was put out by Super Viaduct. I got this at Stranded. They actually are the store, and their label is Super Viaduct. And I recently got an Avengers reissue of their first album on Super Viaduct. This is Crime, San Francisco Doomed. Now, a couple things. Side one of this is produced by Elliot Mazer from Demos and Things in 1978. He had a studio in the south of Market called His Master's Wheel. You may know Elliot Mazer. He was the engineer on Cheap Thrills by Big Brother, and he was a producer of Neil Young's Harvest. If you saw the 50th anniversary of Harvest, he is in that motion picture. Side two was produced by Henry Rosenthal. Now, Henry Rosenthal I met several times because his two kids went to the same high school as my son Joseph. So I re-met Henry after all these years. I didn't know him back in the day, but he's a documentary film maker. That's him right there. And so I had to get this punk band Crime, one of the better of the San Francisco punk bands in San Francisco in the late 70s. Then an album, I'm a Coltrane guy and never had Ohm. Spiritual, avant-garde, jazzy, free jazz. Ohm, this is an OG copy. I found a pretty nice copy of this. What a lovely record. Ohm, Ohm. So this is Larry Coryell. I don't have any Larry Coryell anymore. This is Spaces on Vanguard Records. The great kind of jazzy folk record label. But he made me get this record, and he says, look who's on it, Maslov. Look who's on it. You got to have this record. And I used to play this record. I totally forgot about it. It's Larry Coryell guitar, John McLaughlin guitar, Chick Corea electric piano, Miroslav Vicious bass, and Billy Cobham drums. Oh, wow, he just raved about this. If you watched the 3 Store on the Road to Frisco video, Brooks made me buy this album, Billy Cobham, Black Saint. I haven't even listened to it yet, but I trust Brooks. Black Saint, Billy Cobham. This was recorded in 1975. 3 tracks on the whole thing, so I expect it to be a little out there somewhat, but we shall see. And I only have some very early Billy Harper records, I believe on Sam Records, I think. But that's a reissue from 2021, Billy Harper. There he is. It's a lot of jazz shit, This is one I picked up, Trouble in Mind, Archie, Shep, and Horace Parlin. I'm a huge fan of Horace Parlin. He had a problem with one of his hands and the way he played his piano, which was really great. This is a later one. This is with Archie Shep and Horace Parlin, recorded in 1980. I believe this is on Steeplechase. And anything on Steeplechase, jazz-wise, you need to pick up. So this was a chance. I haven't heard this recording before, but I'm all in on it. Or I will be all in it once I get home. I did pick up a couple of OJCs at Tunnel Records. High Pressure, the Red Garland Quintet. Again, I got this because I like Red Garland. Red Garland's a great piano player, but Coltrane's on here, Donald Byrd, George Joyner on bass, and Arthur Taylor on drums. The Red Garland Quintet with John Coltrane again. This was a cut corner. I believe some of these are from the Orrin Keep News collection, possibly. These are from Tunnel Records. And here's another one. This is recorded in 1957 and 1958, again with pretty much the same lineup, except it's got Paul Chambers on bass on one of the tracks. And I love Paul Chambers. So this is a really good jazzy, mazzy trip to San Francisco this time. I could have got these online, but I want to support the locals. So this is one of the newest of the Blue Note Classic series. Donald Byrd, Cooking with Blue Note at Montreux Jazz Festival. Montreux Jazz Festival in 1973, and our good friend here, Jazz Shit Brooks, worked at the Montreux Jazz Festival in 1978. Brooks and I, after college, went to Europe together. Then we split up. He went to work in Switzerland at the Montreux Jazz Festival. I went down the coast from Trieste, Italy, down to Yugoslavia. It was Yugoslavia at the time, to Dubrovnik, and south to Kotor to see where my father, Paul Maslov, was born. So I was not at the Montreux Jazz Festival, but this is an early recording of Donald Byrd. I love this period of Donald Byrd as well. I like psychedelic jazz things that almost seem like they're not really cool, like jazz artists trying to do the psychedelic thing. And Pat Martino can go either way. You know, he can be cool, he can be too easy, but this is sort of jazzy psychedelia, Eastern music, raga, and this is a psychedelic excursion through the magical mysteries of the Quran. And this is Pat Martino, Bayina, the clear evidence. That looks like just some cool, drony, psychedelic guitar, you know, mantra, drone type stuff. We'll see. Looking forward to this. This is Real Gone Music, a Prestige, a reissue. And their stuff's pretty decent, usually Real Gone. So check this out. And lastly, again, the Acoustic Sounds Verve series. I hope they continue this. But Pharoah Sanders, free spiritual jazz. This is Karma. Om and Karma should be like a back-to-back. I should have showed those at the same time. Om and Karma. Namaste, Kumbaya. And let me show one more little extra thing, which is pretty cool. Tunnel Records. Look at this shirt. Of course, is it the Jackie McLean cover they parody? They lift from. This is really a cool shirt. Tunnel Records, San Francisco, big jazz store. Love this shirt. One of the cooler shirts I've seen in a while. Thanks for watching. This is the very end, the epilogue of the San Francisco Frisco journey. So thanks for watching, and I really appreciate it. Push all those buttons and listen to the music, because it's the music, it's the journey, it's the discovery, it's the love for this shit. Thank you very much. Mazzy loves you.